Happy New Year. Everyone enjoyed their Christmas and are excited about 2020. We know that every new year brings a fresh start and new beginnings. Brings thoughts and dreams and resolutions about the future. It also brings about predictions. There's predictions about politics, movies, sports, the Pope, weather, and the end of the world. Remember back to the year 2000 with Y2K? That every computer in the world was supposed to crash when the clocks ticked over to midnight on January 1st, 2000. We were all worried, although we thought it may be a little bit silly. Now there's Iran to worry about. The fact is that we're worried a lot of the time. For this series, we're going to look at worrying. And our goal is to worry less and move in the direction of eliminating worry from our lives. As we begin, there's two important clarifications here. That some would say that worry just goes along with the territory of being a parent, owning a business, being married, or actually caring about your grades and performance in school, or getting into the right college or university. There is a big difference between having a legitimate concern and worrying. A legitimate concern requires you to do something. Worry, as we'll see, is different than prudent caution and concern. Secondly, there is another important distinction here with anxiety. That anxiety is a psychiatric disorder which should be taken very seriously. That anxiety is persistent and sometimes overwhelming. Don't take it lightly in this course, and there we're not talking about anxiety. We're not talking about legitimate concerns and cautions. We're going to be talking about the experience of worry and how worry can be overcome in our lives. Today is the Feast of the Epiphany. We read from Matthew's Gospel. And he tells us the story about the wise men, the Magi. Matthew writes, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of King Herod, behold, Magi from the east arrived in Jerusalem, saying, where is the newborn King of the Jews? We saw his star at its rising and have come to worship him. When King Herod heard this, he was greatly troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. Herod was a despicable man. If you ever watched the last season of the Game of Thrones, you see plenty of examples where worry combined with bad character leads to really bad choices. And here's how the dictionary defines worry. Worry, to give way to unease, to allow one's mind to dwell on difficult or troubling future scenarios. Notice that by definition, worry implies a choice. It means to choose unease, to choose the difficult, the troubling. We give ourselves up or we surrender ourselves to worry. We allow our minds to dwell on a difficulty. We choose to turn over and turn over and turn over a concern in our minds, which leads to trouble in our hearts. That's what Herod does when he hears the news from the wise men. He's worried because inadvertently, these guys go right to the heart of what he's afraid of, not being king. You and I are the same in that we worry about what we care about. Herod was devoted to his power, and he really had no logical reason to worry. But worry doesn't make sense to anyone but you. So out of his worry, Herod says that he wants to know where the newborn king will be so that he too can go and worship him. And behold, the star that they had seen at its rising preceded them until it came and stopped over the place where the child was. They were overjoyed at seeing the star. And on entering the house, they saw the child with Mary, his mother. They prostrated themselves and worshiped him. They gave him gifts because finding and getting to know Jesus Christ is the path to joy. And it follows that worry is just the path to bad things for us and for those around us. And having been warned in a dream not to return to Herod, the Magi departed for their country by another way. And Herod lost it. He realizes that he's been betrayed. Maybe this newborn baby really is a king. He takes the extreme and the savage step of ordering mass murder in order to eliminate the threat that this child poses. Worry can make you crazy. It can make you sick and make you bitter. And always, it's a waste of time. Again, worry is ultimately linked to what we care about, what we devote our lives to, and what we worship. Herod was devoted to his power and to building up his kingdom. When we put God's kingdom first, then we can put our burdens and concerns and responsibilities in their proper context. God is greater than the economy. He's greater than whoever is in the White House. He's greater than your kids' sports. He's greater than the bully you're facing at school. He's greater than your loneliness. He's greater than your business. He's greater than your diagnosis. When I say that he's greater than these things, it doesn't mean that these issues are unimportant. They matter. But worrying about them isn't helpful. That ultimately we defeat worry by turning to God and making him a greater priority than whatever it is that troubles us and causes us to worry. Worrying is the opposite of praying. Praying makes our issues smaller. Worrying makes them bigger and bigger and bigger. Worry is talking to ourselves about stuff that we can't control. Prayer is talking to God about stuff he does control.